All right, welcome back to Soundboard. I got this idea from a podcast called My First Million. It's a really great podcast, and one of the podcasts that they do maybe monthly is talk about business ideas that they think that could potentially work. So I pitched this to Jade. She's come up with two. I've come up with two. So we'll start with you first.
Yeah, it's really funny because the two we've come up with is so
different.
And we're in our territories.
We are in our territory.
Yeah, so I have gone in the technology space and I've come up with two sort of complementary ideas but have stemmed from the same problem. So the biggest problem that I see in businesses that I work with is they don't know what to post on social media. They don't know when to post on social media, and they don't have the internal resources to be able to create content. So based off that, I've come up with two app ideas. The first one is...
Of course you have.
Yeah, of course I've got. Well, of course I have. The first one is a social media AI app that tells you what to post and when. So it uses both your analytics data and then also the data of your competitors. So like you plug in competitors and the types of posts and things like that together with ChatGPT. Like give me posts for business that does XYZ.
Is there nothing in the market like this?
No. Not that I've seen anyway. And it tells you, not that's personalized. You can ask ChatGPT, like, give me post ideas for this business, but it doesn't feel like they know you or they know your business or competitors or market or anything like that. So it takes that data and then it gives you a posting schedule along with captions as well.
Oh,
yeah.
that's exciting.
Yep. So that was my first idea. The second idea is very similar, but it's like an AI-driven Canva that actually creates the graphic for you. So off the back of the schedule, you would then say, I need a graphic that says this copy and plug in your logo, and then it spits it out for you.
Yeah, I love that.
Yeah, they're mine.
So I know Canva's got a lot of chat AI interactions with it already, but that'll just be a perfect little app for it.
Yeah.
I don't we use Canva a lot. It's like one of my favorite apps, and she's a female founder, isn't she?
Yeah.
From Melbourne.
Melanie.
Billionaire?
Yes. I think it's a couple. I'm not a couple as in like they're in a romantic relationship. I think there's boy, girl.
Yeah.
Maybe someone else.
Oh, okay.
I don't know. I think there might be two. Melanie Grant? No, Melanie.
Yeah, she doesn't. She's pretty low key. She hides pretty low. So my and obviously Jay was just said before, like my ones. I was looking at a lot of data probably about a year and a half ago about the tradie industry.
Yeah.
And 30% of the workers in New South Wales are actually tradies as well. So when I hang out with tradies, they all like to flex, but they can't flex while they're at work. They flex with a brand new truck, tools, motorbikes. A lot of them wear designer when they go out, especially when they go out, they splash a little bit on money. So my one was like, I knew they had money there that they're willing to spend, but it's almost building like a luxury or a higher end version of tradies clothes at the moment. Because when I done research on the biggest company in Australia, their annual turnover or their net worth of their company was actually 500 million. So just people buying very cheap, put together collar shirts, fluoro shirts, pants. And we actually went into the store one time to check it out. And I was looking at the pricing of all the stuff, and it was like $15 for a t-shirt, $20 for a t-shirt. But if someone could build a higher end version of the tradie wear, I think it'd really take off and almost build it in like a Birkin bag style where you can't get it all the time.
That's really cool. I like that idea.
Because you take away that, like, you can't get it all the time. You might have a hoodie that's worth $400, $500, but it's shaped as a Fear of God or Essentials hoodie. You're using a lot better fabrics because a lot of the fabrics they use within the tradie wear is actually like poly. So when you sweat, it like sticks to you. Or when you wear those little vests, it sticks to you. The shapes are ugly. You have to use those colors, obviously. The shapes are ugly. The fabric's cheap. But I just think a guy who actually runs the business, who's got a bit more money, can flex from those first hours at work. You know what I mean?
True.
And this guy is the most, I'm generalizing, but mostly guys in there. Status signaling is important.
Yeah. Showing
off to your mates is important. And even if you got it all dirty and stuff, it wouldn't even matter because it's a sign that you've got money.
You could also have that, the wear and tear as being part of.
That's cool.
Like that's kind of cool too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
part of the design.
The guy who owns this building, and he's worth, I wouldn't even get like hundreds of millions, I reckon. And you wouldn't even, you wouldn't even know that.
He's so nice.
You wouldn't even know he's got money. And that was one of the things he said to me. He said a lot of the you could go two ways. You go high end, almost like Fear of God style, or you could go like almost into the activewear range where it's a lot more functional, which is probably a more scalable business model. But I just kind of think that hiding behind behind a password on the website, you're targeting tradies. And when they walk onto the site, they know that's a $500 pair of pants.
Should test this with a drop, like it's the workwear drop for YKTR. I reckon
we're doing.
Oh, you are?
yeah. No, we're doing one, but it's just going to be based on our normal blocks and fabrics because we know that works for us.
Yeah.
But I definitely think someone could do it.
Yeah, definitely. I also think it's a really big market with not a lot of options. Like I think about Matt, for example, and he kind of wears the same, like
they all wear the same stuff.
Same
That's my
stuff,
thing.
yeah, all the time. Not that like he really cares, but there are times where you need to like step out of the factory, meet clients, go on site. You know, he does a lot of like crane signage and stuff like that, and we'll go to like the yard and whatever to do the crane signage, and like, you know, you meet and greet there. So I think first impression's everything. Like showing up in a high vis that's got like, you know, yesterday's lunch on it. It's not always like the best look.
With a can of V in your hand.
Yeah, exactly.
And I think like when I look at my trading mates, a lot of them are sort of changing. Still love to get on the purse on a Friday.
Yeah.
Like I think that's a part of their culture, but a lot of them like are running and stuff now and like working out and going away overseas and doing camps and stuff. I think the whole narrative as a country is changing.
Yeah.
And if you've got 30% of your demographic who are tradies who are looking to be a little bit more healthy, want to feel a little bit better when they go to work, I think there's something there for sure.
I think there's a lot more awareness now around like benefits of health. Like I find that the movement of people trying to be more conscious is just because there's so much available. Like we're starting to understand the benefits of like, you know, meditation, doing ice baths, you know, even running's kind of become sort of like a trend, I guess. Like
I live in Bondi. It's just like, you got your dodgy run clubs here.
I have noticed January, it's like pretty, you know, it's a bit of a joke.
I'm in there
too. I'm all for kickstarting the new year on the right foot, but it's like, it's just so funny how it's actually everyone.
Yeah, so that was my first business idea.
Yep.
So hopefully someone has a crack at that. Do you know what would be cool if someone ended up doing these in a couple of years down the line? All right, my second one is, and same thing with my first million with the podcast. They kind of look at historical businesses and go, how can I do this like a little bit better? And I met this guy up in the Gold Coast, and I was like, I
have another one. Do you want to just stick to two?
Yeah, we can go three after.
Okay, let's do it.
I met this guy on the Gold Coast, and I was like, what do you do for work? And he goes, I own my lawn mowing business. I was like, oh, cool. Didn't think much of it. You know when something's at the front of your brain and it seems to pop up everywhere? I was listening to that podcast, and they talked about a window cleaning service business in Texas, and it slowly started to take off because the founder took a boring industry that was a little bit lame, like not that exciting, and spruced it up with branding. They called it like Pink's Window Service, and they've got really cool merch. It's really thought out with their photo shoots, but off the back of that, it can build out into a franchise model. So I heard that, and then I heard this other lady talk about lawn mowing. Great thing about a lawn mowing business is, one, you're saving the person time. If I had a house, I probably wouldn't mow my lawn. I'm a little bit lazy. But it's recurring revenue. You need someone to come back over and do it again, and you're saving time. And you could have a little play on with the merch. Like you could have like be fun and light and cheeky, have keywords out the back or shit like that. But I think when I asked myself the question of like who's got market share right now, the only person I could think of was Jim's Mowing.
You guys should follow him on Instagram if you get an opportunity to. He's a really great entrepreneur. I follow him as well.
Is he like 70 or something?
He's
old.
Yeah, he's a lot older, but and he puts like really good content out there.
But so I go a little bit of a nerd, jump onto his website, see how much it costs to franchise out a certain area. Obviously, it depends what area you're in. But his business model was like you have to pay like 50 to 70K to get in. I'm not too sure what they get you. Is that like a truck and a mower? But all it
probably
is...
the territory as well.
Yeah, get the territory. But all it is like a building out a CRM system to get all the leads. So he'll go, all right, you can have Bondi and we're going to give you 30 lawn straight away. And then you can pay... us back through a monthly retainer, but it's at a fixed price. So it's like a 50, 70K entrance point, might be 30 if you're out in like Central Coast.
Those business models are good. It's like F45 model type thing.
F45, it's monthly recurring revenue. It's a
lead generator. They leverage off the brand.
But I think if someone took that business model, made it like a little bit cheaper and made it like a little bit cooler, if you had 1% of his business, which is worth $500 million, you could have a $5 million business pretty quickly.
So true.
And my friend lives on the Gold Coast. I'm like, bro, dominate this suburb first and then try and get the next one. You hire one person. And then once you can build out that CRM system of generating leads. And the great way to get leads, in my opinion, is if you're in your day off, there's a guy on TikTok and he goes to people's houses. And he's like, mows their lawn. That'll be your lead generation. And if you stole the branding of the Pink's, of the Pink's window cleaning place, and you're always wearing a pink,
and you're the one that stands out as well.
Or you call it like flamingo mowing or something like that, where it's something that sticks out. When the truck's driving around, you can see that pink color. Like, you've got the dress shirt on.
It's like that classic Winston with a Y. Like, you don't ever forget the, the blind company.
No.
Oh, it was. Do you remember it? Yeah. So it's called Winston with a Y because it's literally Winston spelled with a Y. And I feel like because of that, they've hammered that home so much. You just, like, when I think of blinds, I think of Winston with a Y, and it's the one that stands out.
And I think that'll be a great way to, like, if you don't have lead gen, it'd be a great way to sort of get lead generation, especially through TikTok. And then you could even, and I've thought about this a lot, you could even expand it out to my girlfriend's nephew. When his dad mows the lawn, he follows him behind him with a little plastic lawn behind that too. So you could really tap into the, like, almost even have toys, or if they have a year service with you and they've got kids, you can provide toys. But I'd build out a 3-tier business subscription model, have a basic and all the way up to a premium. But with the premium one, a lot of guys like to have a beer after they've done some work. You can mow the lawns and leave a 6-pack of beer there.
Oh, that's such a good idea.
And do a brand collaboration with that, with, like, I don't know.
We should coach my dad to do this. He's got a little mowing business that it's
not.
Yeah, he does it on the side of his job, but he just does a couple of houses in the street. It's called Nice to Mow You.
I love that. I love that. That could have.
Shout out to Nice to Mow You.
Yeah. But do you think it's a good idea?
Yeah, I think it's a great idea.
Yeah.
It's really good.
And I think a lot of people get caught up in, like, trying to, we talked about this before, and trying to start the new business idea that's sexy. And you're going to get the big upside for that if you can nail it, especially in the tech space. But I think if you're not too tech savvy or business savvy,
look at the things that have worked.
Look at the things that have worked. Look at something that people need every single day. That's a big one. And also, how do you make it cooler?
And also, the UK and especially America, UK and America are always ahead of us in some way. So usually it goes US and then they'll start something in the UK and then we can typically follow after that and assume that because it's worked really well in the UK, it'll work in Australia as well.
Are behind, aren't we?
So we are. So we've got that that's an advantage, So look at what's worked offshore and we can replicate it.
And how many lawns are there?
Yeah, it's so true. And lawns are very important to the Aussie family.
Yeah, and that's the way you could market it. Like, obviously when you got a clean, it's like having a clean car. You could sell the feeling of having a mowed lawn. Yeah. The smell of mowed lawns is like something people love. So I don't know. I thought it was interesting.
Yeah, I thought that's a really good idea.
Yeah.
Really good idea.
What's your last one?
My last one is off the back of what you said in terms of, like, looking at what's worked, where the problems are. Two companies that have done fantastic in this space, Skims and Spanx. So this is shapewear for women.
Yep.
It is a massive thing. Like,
do they have the built-in nipple into?
Yeah. That was one of her designs that she did. But Skims have gone fantastic. They've gone so well. They started originally as shapewear, but they've kind of developed now into, like, different lines of, like, pajamas, lingerie, just loungewear, things like
Stuff
that.
you need every day, isn't
but
it?
not narrowed in like what Spanx did on just shapewear alone, but taking those two concepts, shapewear in Australia that is affordable, and also for the curvier woman to accentuate smaller waist, hourglass kind of figure vibes. So it'll suck in, like, technology to suck in on the waist and then leave that.
How does it say sucked in?
Well, it's just tighter there. Like, if you ever feel...
Is it hard to breathe and stuff?
Depends on the shapewear. I've worn Spanx before and she's tight, but it's breathable. But I feel like if you were really specific about the tightness, like it was extra tight around the waist and then not as, like, around the hips, I think you could create shapes in the shapewear.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, 100%.
And the market is massive. And I can't say, do you reckon, Tash? Like, there's not a lot of brands that just do it. Yeah, Kmart, no good. And then Spanx is really the only other one that I can think of. But yeah, shapewear is a massive thing. Yeah. Like, and it's kind of like a saying for women as well. They're like, Oh yeah, and then once I put my Spanx with it, you know, like it's like a thing. It's an accessory.
And it's moving towards more of an inclusive base, isn't it?
Definitely.
Which is, do you see that guy from a little bit off topic, but that guy from Lululemon who used to found it? And
yes,
he goes,
I saw that.
He goes, we don't want to be for everyone.
Yep.
And I don't actually mind that statement. And I know
I think if you own a business, you can make sense of that statement. Yeah. Whether you agree or disagree, that's neither here nor there. But it's like, if you're a business owner, you can make sense of what he was saying.
Didn't Triangle have a similar scenario back in the day? They're like, oh, where's all your plus size models? And they're just, this is what we do and this is what we make.
Yeah, exactly.
But then it creates a market for like the plus size
and then
stuff
they're
too.
Marketing as well, because like you market to who you want to attract. So if you see inclusive brands, you know, marketing with all different like shapes and sizes and stuff, then that clearly indicates like we are for everyone. But
yeah, for sure,
not every brand is for everyone. The same way that there are, you know, brands that cater to, you know, smaller sizes, there's also specifically plus size brands too, that if you're not in that size range, you can't shop there. So it's like, you know, you don't need to be for everyone. You can also just be for your...
I remember when I first got into clothing, reading about Nike and they didn't go over XL, and it was just like...
Well, have you even seen the models now, the mannequins and stuff? Change shape, which...
Oh, for sure.
I think that's really cool because, to be totally honest with you, like, as you know, I've just gone through like little weight loss journey, which has put me in like a smaller, more petite category. But previous to that, I've pretty much spent most of my life being like solid, like not fat, not skinny, just solid. But I think the media models, you know, marketing and things like that made me feel fat in younger years. You know, I saw a TikTok the other day about why women feel that they were overweight back when we were, you know, teenagers, and it was showing like the covers of all the magazines and stuff back then, and we were looking up to like Nicole Richie, Paris Hilton, like Lindsay Lohan, like they were all like so so unrealistic. And the same goes with like mannequins and models. Like you look at these mannequins sometimes, the waist is like yay big, like it's tiny. So it's good that they're starting to, it's not even about having like mannequins that are unrealistic. It's just more realistic.
Yeah, for sure. And you see girls like, a lot of them, obviously Kim Kardashian was a big about girls getting booties and stuff like that, isn't it? So, no, it's been good.
Yeah.
All right. Is that it?
Yeah. Do you have another one, or are you?
Oh, I've got a couple, but I want to do some more research on them. So I want to be factually correct when I drop it.
Okay.
All right.
Tune in for our next one.
Yeah, I enjoyed that.
Yeah, that was good. It was good.